It started with a drizzle, then turned into a song. Each raindrop on my shoulder felt like you all along. I didn't bring an umbrella, didn't think I'd need one, but your memory followed me even after you were gone. I walk the same old street, the lights are soft and dim. The world is holding quiet like it's waiting on a hymn. My coat is getting heavy, but my heart is heavier still. You're not just in the past, you're in the silence that I feel. Rain on my way home, falling like the words I never said. Every step alone echoes all the things I should have kept. You're not here tonight, but I still walk where we once stood. And the rain on my way home somehow feels like you understood. The coffee shop is closed, your window's dark and cold, but I still see the laughter from a memory growing old. I try to let it fade, but the sky just won't forget the way you held me close that night. The sidewalk glistened wet. I could turn around, take a different road, but something in me wants the pain I know. If healing means remembering you, then I'll let the rain pour through. Rain on my way home, telling me that some things never change. Though I walk alone, your voice still finds a way to say my name. The night is moving slow, but I'm not racing anymore. And the rain on my way home feels like you waiting at the door. I watched you leave without a word, the loudest silence I ever heard. I meant to speak but held it back, afraid I'd say what I can't take back. There was a breath, a second's pause, a chance to name the thing we lost, but words got caught behind my pride, so all I did was stand and hide. What I didn't say still echoes every day, like footsteps in an empty hall, or letters I can't send at all. It wasn't that I didn't feel, it's just I never let it heal. The weight I carry still today is what I didn't say. You waited longer than you should, hoping I'd speak what no one could, but I mistook your patient heart as time I'd always have to start. Now I replay that final scene where silence filled the in-between, and though the moment's long gone past, my quiet still outshadows facts. What I didn't say still finds me when I pray. night, not saying it was my mistake, was louder than a heart could take. The word I owe you to this day is what I didn't say. You reached for something I could be, but I stayed silent, couldn't see. Sometimes love just needs a start. Not perfect words, just open hearts. I watch the moments slip away. A touch I could have let you stay, but fear spoke louder than the chance. So I just let go of your glance. Hands I didn't hold still haunt me when it's cold. Like promises I never made, or answers I was too afraid. They passed me by, both warm and near, but I stood still and disappeared. And now the space I tried to fold is filled with hands I didn't hold. You didn't ask for something grand, just someone who would understand. A simple reach, a steady grip, but I let go before the slip. Regret's not loud, it softly stings in little, almost tender things. A brush of skin, a chance once near, now echoes I alone still hear. Hands I didn't hold, our stories left untold. The quiet ways we turn away and live to miss another day. No storm, no fight, just slow decline of what was nearly yours and mine. And all that's left, if truth be told, are hands I didn't hold. Hands I didn't hold. We spoke in circles, soft and low, avoided where we didn't go. The question lingered in my chest, but fear convinced me silence best. You waited longer than you said, with patient eyes and a lowered head. And I just smiled, pretending calm, while everything inside was gone. Ask again, would you still say no? Would the night have cracked a little more? Would we have let the silence go? I don't need a second chance, just time enough to understand what listen if I could ask again. I trace your words like folded lines from letters I now read to find a moment missed, a voice unsent, a love half built and never meant. The heart remembers what it lost, not always loud but always cost, and sometimes all it takes to bend a future shape is one word end. If I could ask again, not to change the past, but just to feel your gaze once more before the stillness came so fast, I'd hold my breath a little less, I'd take the chance, confess the mess, and maybe it'd still break again. But I would ask again. I said your name just once today. It floated out and slipped away like steam that fades into the air, too quiet for the world to care. I used to whisper it at night when no one else could hear me right, a syllable that held me close much more than any letter knows. Soft as your name, like light behind the curtain frame, a sound that barely leaves a trace but lingers gently in its place. It never asks for more than time, or for reason or a sign. Still I remain with something soft as your name. I've tried to say it less these days, but it still finds 100 ways. In songs and streets, in quiet rooms, it hums beneath the afternoon. It's not the word that holds me here, but everything it used to mean. A memory wrapped in quiet grace, a truth I never dared to chase. Soft as your name, still resting in my chest the same. I carry it though you are gone, like half a melody undone, no louder than a silent flame, still warm, still glowing, still the same. So I remain with something soft as your name. I wasn't looking up that day too busy walking thoughts away. But something soft broke through the gray, a quiet spark that made me stay. You didn't speak, just met my eyes and bent the silence into light. No questions asked, no sudden burst, just something changed. You smiled first. You smiled first, and time stood still. The world fell quiet, but my heart filled. You didn't try, you didn't chase, you simply lit that empty space. A kindness born without rehearsed. It all began when you smiled first. It wasn't love, not right away, but something in me asked to stay. The kind of warmth you can't define, but know it's been there all the time. Before a word, before a name, before the us we'd later claim, it started soft without a plan, a simple smile that said I can. You smiled first and I replied with every fear I used to hide. You didn't know, but you became the quiet turning in my name. A moment pure, unscripted, unrehearsed, the day it changed. You smiled first. You smiled first. You smiled first, and time stood still. The world fell quiet, but my heart filled. You didn't try, you didn't chase, you simply lit that empty space. A kindness born without rehearsed. It all began when you smiled first. The door was closed, but not all the way. Like you wanted me to find my way back to where we used to be, before the silence quietly grew deep. The hallway smelled like late July. The air was warm, the clock ticked by, and there it was, that little glow from the lamp you never turned too low. You left the light on, like you knew I'd come, like love could wait even after it's gone. You left the light on in that quiet room, and somehow it still feels like home because of you. I stood there longer than I should, wondering if you understood that I was scared. Not that I didn't care, just didn't know how to say I would have stayed. made mistakes, but not all hope has to break. Something shines soft and long, even after you're not holding on. You left the light on like a silent plea, a simple way to say you believed in me. You left the light on, and even though you're gone, I find my way back to love where it belongs. We used to talk without a sound. Now every word feels watered down. You're sitting close but feel so far, like watching someone through a car. I reach for things you used to say, but all that warmth has blown away. There's space between your glance and mine, like clouds that drift across a line. Clouds between us, soft but strong enough to blur the little truths, the gentle trust that used to live in me and us. I can't see what's still the same when everything has lost its name. We're right here, but not quite us, with clouds between us. The sky we built is turning gray, and every laugh just fades away. We smile like actors in a scene where nothing means what it had been. It's not a storm, it's not a fight, just quiet shifting of the light. And no one knows who changed it first, but both of us can feel the hurt. Clouds between us, hiding what we never said. We speak but drift apart instead, like echoes tangled in the thread. We're still trying, that I know, but sometimes love just doesn't show. Through all the quiet, all the fuss, there's only clouds between us. Stood outside your window pane with nothing but the falling rain. My heart was loud, my lips were closed, the truth too fragile to expose. You never knew I came that night. The porch was dim, the sky was white, with flashes drawn across the dark. I held my love like hidden spark. Rain keeps the secret, washes it away. No one heard the words I meant, no one saw me hesitate. The thunder stayed unseen between the drops, and in between the world moved on, but I still keep it safe in rain when no one sees it. The storm passed through, the streets grew clear, but not the weight of staying near. You lit a candle by the sill, while I just stood and loved you still. I could have called, I could have tried, but silence was the place I'd hide. And rain like me just softly wept for every vow I never kept. Rain keeps the secret like it always knew, that some confessions bloom too late to ever make it back to you. It whispered loud, it held me tight, and kept my voice out of the light. The world forgot, but I still keep it in the rain, where I still keep it. In the back of my old desk, beneath the notes I never sent, are folded pages left unread, with all the things I should have said. I wrote them late on sleepless nights, under a yellow hallway light, afraid to give, afraid to show what only paper seemed to know. Letters in the drawer, hidden like a quiet war, every line a piece of me that you were never meant to see. Love I couldn't say aloud, so I wrote it down somehow. Years have passed, but I still store those letters in the drawer. Some are smudged and some are torn, traces of a heart to warm, to risk the weight of one reply, so I kept silence by my side. Would it have changed a single thing if I had sent just one of them? Maybe not, but maybe two. There was a time I almost knew. Letters in the drawer, whispers I could not ignore. Even now I read them slow, just to feel you long ago. Truth I couldn't face back then finds me with a trembling pen. And though we're not what we were before, I keep those letters in the drawer. I talk too slow, then laugh too fast. Forget the words, my heart beats past the rhythm of a normal day. You came and took it all away. I look for things I've never seen. The way you smile, the way you lean. Every glance is something new, and I don't know what I should do. But maybe love is meant to feel a little strange, a little real. And even if I don't know how, I wanna try. I want it now, because it's new. I might be wrong, I might be quiet, might be strong, but every moment feels so true, because it's you. I'm not afraid to feel this way, though I don't know the words to say. I'll learn to love, because it's new. I read your text a second time and wonder if you read through mine. I overthink, I hesitate, but maybe this is what it takes. I've never felt this light before, and I don't need to know much more. If love begins with hearts unsure, then I'm already yours, because it's new, and so am I. A little lost, but I won't lie. You make me want to be someone who learns to run toward this feeling, toward your hand. Not everything goes as we planned, but I believe, because it's new. We weren't loud, we weren't shy. We spoke with glances passing by. Between the laughter, between the sighs, there lived a truth behind our eyes. No confessions, no clear signs, but all the space was drawn in lines of hands that hovered close to hold, of stories shared but never told. We were almost quiet, not in words but how we knew. The way your shoulder leaned a bit, the way my breath would follow you. It wasn't love we dared to name, but something gentle just the same. A silence full of something true. We were almost quiet, me and you. No one asked, and we did not explain the way our hearts were caught. But in the pause, before a smile, we lingered there a little while. Some say silence means there's less, but we both know it can express what louder love could never show, the things that only quiet knows. We were almost quiet, like music held between the notes, a hush that said we understood without a single thing we wrote. It wasn't loud, it wasn't clear, but I still feel you standing near in every breath I listen through. We were almost quiet, me and you.
Didn't know your favorite song or where you like to be alone, but somehow I was drawn to you like gravity that no one knew. We hadn't talked for very long, still I was writing us in songs, the kind of love I didn't plan but found myself already in. I didn't notice at the time the way you made the silence shine, but looking back it's all so clear. You were already pulling near. I was falling before I knew, before I asked, before I grew into the kind of heart that stays. You were already on the page. I was reaching without trying to. You were the sky I never flew. I was falling before I knew. I tried to keep the pace I knew, but you kept bending all the rules. I smiled too much, I stared too long, and every quiet felt like song. You weren't a plan, you weren't a sign, you were something I called mine. Without a promise, without proof, I found my truth inside of you. I was falling before I knew, before I could explain it to you. Like flowers bloom before they name, I loved you long before it came. I was falling, soft and true, like rain that lands without a cue. Yes, I was falling before I knew.
We almost held hands in the dark, almost kissed beneath the stars, almost said the words we meant, but left them floating in the wind. We almost made it past the fear, almost let the silence clear. We danced around what could have been, but never let the truth begin. More than almost, that's what we're. Not quite lovers, not just words, stuck between the might have beens and everything we did. I still feel it in the space where you were almost in my place. It wasn't nothing, it wasn't close, it was more than almost. We almost met at better times, but hearts don't move by perfect lines. You looked at me like you just knew, but held your heart a step too soon. If time had waited one more breath, would we have crossed what we both left? I wonder still, I always do, how close we came to me and you. More than almost, I won't pretend it wasn't real just 'cause it ends. You were a whisper, not a storm, but still you shook my quiet world. We never started, never tried, but something in me never died. A ghost I never let too close. You were more than almost. We didn't have a place to be, just stood outside, just you and me. The porch light flickered soft and low, and in that glow the night moved slow. You told a story halfway through. I smiled and nodded, I just knew that nothing big would need to start. It only took a quiet heart. Under the porch light, the world stood still that night. No perfect lines, no grand display, just your shadow leaning my way. It wasn't planned, it wasn't bold, but something there began to hold a memory that still feels right. Under the porch light, we didn't speak of what we felt. We let the silence speak itself. The wind was soft, your hand was near, and in that space I lost the fear. Some love begins with fireworks loud, ours just settled in a cloud of amber light and breathless air. A moment small but fully there, under the porch light. No need to ask, no need to fight. Swear I knew and didn't know that letting go would let us grow. I pass that house from time to time and feel the peace that once was mine. Not everything needs to burn bright. Some things glow like porch light. closed the door, but not the sound. It lingered long, it stayed around. The room was still, but not much as goodbye had never felt like rest. Your footsteps faded down the hall, but something echoed through it all. Not what you said, but what you meant. The silence shaped where you had been. Echoes after goodbye, they stay longer than the cry. Not loud, not sharp, but always near, like whispered thoughts I didn't hear. You said it soft, but it rang wide, and now I live with what's implied. Not your voice, but what survived. Echoes after goodbye. I talk to walls you used to lean, and hear the way you used to mean. A laugh, a sigh, a shifting weight, the things we never calculate. Sometimes I wish you'd screamed instead, so I'd forget the things you said. But echoes live where noise can't stay, and haunt me in a quieter way. Echoes after goodbye, they hum beneath my lullaby. I try to sleep, but there you are, like starlight next to burned out stars. You didn't shout, you didn't fight, but still you echo every night. Not your voice, but what survived. Echoes after goodbye. Echoes after goodbye. Echoes after goodbye. I saw you standing in the rain, your coat too thin, you look the same. I almost called, I almost waved, but all my words got washed away. You glanced around but didn't see the version of you next to me, the one I built with could-have-beens and all the love I kept within. One step late, that's how it goes. You turn the page before I chose to say the things I meant to say, to stop you when you walked away. The door was there, the chance was close, but I was one step late almost. You smiled at someone just behind, and I erased you from my mind. At least I tried, or told me so, but some goodbyes don't really go. If I had moved just half a breath, would we have changed what came next? Regret's a quiet kind of weight that lives in all we hesitate. One step late and you moved on, while I stayed trapped in what was gone. Not tragedy, not fate, not pain, just seconds lost like summer rain. I loved you, that I'll always know, but I was one step late too slow. didn't mean to stare too long, but something quiet pulled me on. You looked away, then back again, and I forgot what time we were in, like pages falling out of place. My world began with just your face, where my eyes found you. The moment changed, it's you. The noise around began to fade, and only you were in the frame. I wasn't looking for a sign, but something in you answered mine. I still go back to that view, where my eyes found you. We didn't speak, not right away, but silence had so much to say. A glance became a kind of thread that tied the words we hadn't said. Maybe it was nothing more, but I had never felt it before. That stillness in a crowded place, that slow and certain kind of grace, where my eyes found you. Everything felt new, like someone turned the sky to gold and stopped the world I used to hold. No need for promises or plans, your face I couldn't understand, but I remember what was true, where my eyes found you. The sky was heavy, low and gray. You said goodbye and walked away. I waited under that old tree, thinking you'd turn around for me. The sidewalk shimmered in the mist, but not a trace of your last kiss. The thunder rolled but never broke, the silence sitting in my throat. When the rain didn't stop, I stood there long enough to let the truth come falling down. No shelter left, no solid ground. You were already gone, but I still held on to the moment, to the thought, when the rain didn't stop. I used to love the sound it made, but now it feels like slow decay. Each drop reminds me what I lost, each step another quiet cost. People passed, the hours blurred, I stayed there without a word. Sometimes love just fades away, like a storm that comes but doesn't say. When the rain didn't stop, and the sky never cleared, I learned that missing you was something real, not just a fear. You were already gone, and I was still not ready for goodbye when the rain didn't stop.
The sea was still, the sky was white. You looked at me, then turned aside. I reached for you, but held the breeze. A silent spring between the leaves. Your footsteps fade it on the sand, like words I didn't understand. The ocean watched you walk away before the tide could make you stay. You didn't cry, you didn't speak, but left a storm inside my cheeks. You left before the tide came in, before it washed away our sins. I stood there waiting for a sign, but only seagulls answered mine. The sea came late, the sun had died, but you had gone before the tide. I still return when spring is near, to find the place where we were clear. But all that's left are waves and wind, and echoes of what could have been. The water now just holds the sound of someone lost, not ever found. You left before the tide could rise, before the moon pulled at the skies. You left a kiss upon the shore, then turned and said you'd feel no more. You didn't wait, you didn't try, you left me here before the tide. Sometimes I dream you stayed that day, that spring held you and made you stay. But tides come late and love moves fast, and not all things are meant to last. You left before the tide could hold our stories, dreams, the hands we'd fold. And though the sea now touches me, it's not the same, it's not, you see. You left in spring with one goodbye, you left me here before the tide. I sat beside you every day, laughed at things I didn't say, hoped you'd hear what I kept in, but silence always seemed to win. I held my breath when you walked by, my smile a well-disguised goodbye. You never saw what I went through, but every beat it beat for you. You never knew the way I cared, how much I wish that you were there, in the spaces between our words. My love for you remained unheard. I wrote your name in every line of songs I never dared to sign. You talked of love like it was new, while I was loving only you. You never knew the way I cared, how much I wish that you were there, in the spaces between our words. My love for you remained unheard. And now it rains like it always knew that I was breaking over you. But it's too late, the truth won't show in hearts that never got to grow. You never knew, and that's okay. Some feelings never find their way, but in the rain I still hold tight to silent love that felt so